Hey guys, my name is Miska and welcome to HitScan. Today we're looking at some interview questions and answers from Jeff and some other Overwatch developers. I tried to ask a lot of questions that you guys had asked in the comments yesterday to clarify things further. There's a lot of things that you guys asked that I didn't actually get to ask, but other people kind of asked and Jeff answered. So yeah, just check the timestamp in the top comments for answers to certain questions. But I think you guys will be interested in pretty much all of these answers. I will just let you sort of listen to these first few answers, and then I will jump in as well to explain some things around the two questions that I asked that got pretty long answers and I think were actually pretty important answers and quite a big deal. So I'll get back to that later in the video, but for now have a listen to these first few answers from Jeff.
The Overwatch 1 players will as well. Yeah, everyone will get, I think that's important. I think any improvements we make to the HUD, I think, and that's part of the competitive experience. Like on the show floor, check out the Zenyatta. Zenyatta's really cool too, the new HUD for him, because we show you, before it was like always this text message of who the Discord or the Harmony was on, and now there's a UI like actually showing the character portrait, so you know exactly who Harmony and Discord are on. So I think that's extremely important, and that feels like part of we don't want anybody having an advantage in PvP. And so we're going to make sure that any part of Overwatch 2 that feels like an advantage to current Overwatch players who don't want to move on to Overwatch 2, that none of that exists. It all has to be an even playing field.
So will there be two clients, or will you eventually just use everything and have like just an Overwatch client?
A client question, John.
Talk tech. No, it is a single client. So we will have a single client for both the original Overwatch players and those that are purchasing Overwatch 2. So they will get some of the engine upgrades. Actually, they'll get all of the engine upgrades, but some of the specific upgrades that we're putting in for the Overwatch 2 story missions and hero missions and the new looks obviously will be available for the Overwatch 2 as well.
Overwatch 1, expect a different pricing for Overwatch 2 for the players that do not have it, assuming that they might feel a little bit sad that they already have a part of the game?
I don't think we can answer any questions about business model at this point. The details are still in flux.
So next up, I wanted to ask Jeff first off about what the plan for Overwatch 1 to the Overwatch 2 launch was basically. So what will happen to current Overwatch until Overwatch 2 is out? So this is what he had to say about that.
What's the plan for basically Overwatch right now into Overwatch 2? Obviously there's potentially quite a bit of time between that launch and right now. And as an example, you talked about Sojourn being an upcoming character and that Overwatch 2 might have multiple heroes right as it launches that are brand new to people. But is Sojourn, for example, the next character for Overwatch as a whole? Or will that current Overwatch 1 live service, I guess you could say, change leading up to the launch?
Do you gentlemen, I feel like I'm doing all the talking. I talk a lot, as these guys know, so I'm happy to do.
I think you should just keep going.
Okay, I'll just keep going. The team's focus, by and large, is Overwatch 2 at this point, but by no means are we abandoning the live service. We have plans for at least one new hero to hit the live service that's outside of Overwatch 2. I'm not going to confirm your spoilers, but that was good fishing. So I'm not going to talk about who's coming and when. Sojourn is an Overwatch 2 character. That we have confirmed, so you know it's not her who's coming sooner. But with the focus being Overwatch 2 for the team, there's still a lot of really cool stuff coming for the live game. Some of it's going to hit the PTR next week. Like, for example, I mentioned this in the panel, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself if you saw it earlier, but we're adding to the queue system, ever since we added role queue. It's been a great addition to the game, but there are some improvements we can make. So hitting the PTR should be next week. It might be the week after, but we're adding a system where you can queue for other modes as well. while you're waiting. In fact, you're not queuing, you just get instantly pulled into them. You can skirmish like you've been doing before. We have a new deathmatch mode that you can deathmatch while you're waiting to get into a map. You can also go into the training room, and we've added the ability for you to go into the training room with your group. So if you and your group just want to go and shoot the training bots for a while, we've enabled that. And then the coolest part to me, and the part that I hope will resonate with all of you, is we're also going to let you go into custom game and workshop while you're queued. So what that means is you could just really do whatever you want, any part of the game while you're queued. So hopefully that will make like queue times better. But that's just a small example. That's one thing that we're adding to the live service during the development of Overwatch 2. I mean, if you look at our whole past year, the heroes we've added, Sigma, Baptiste, for example, role queue as a feature, those were all made during Overwatch 2 development. So there's no way we're going to abandon the current audience. They're very important to us.
So not really confirming anything there, but Echo, of course, being in there as a potential next hero and Soldier not being out until Overwatch 2. However, I did follow this up with some other stuff, and do bear in mind, I did not ask these questions together. The second one was asked quite a bit later, but Jeff has just mentioned that they are planning on releasing one hero until Overwatch 2 is out, and he will now say roughly how long it is until Overwatch 2 is out.
Yeah, I think I might be asking two questions that I'm not going to get answered, but I'm seeing them a lot online. If you had to give a rough estimate, are we looking at the sort of 1, 2, or 3 years until launch of Overwatch 2, or is it potentially closer? And is there a rough estimate of new characters that will be like bundled into the Overwatch 2 launch?
I'll take that one.
I want you to take that.
Yeah, Arnold will take that question. He's got a great answer. We don't have I know, it's such a lame answer. I'm super sorry. And it's not like, just so you know, it's not like this top secret thing that the last thing we'd want to tell them is, I better not say the date and then I'll get fired. Like, we just don't know. Like, what's important to us at Blizzard on all of our games, you're going to get the same answer if you ask the Diablo 4 team. What's important for us is that the game is awesome and that our players are like, yes, this is ready, now's the time, it's time to put it out. So I don't have a date. It's not this year, I can tell you that. That's a pretty safe answer in November. I have a feeling we'll be talking about Overwatch 2 again next year at BlizzCon. If that helps. In terms of heroes, there are multiple. It's not going to be like original Overwatch where there will be 21. I think that's excessive, and I actually think that would be extremely disruptive to the game. But we want it to be big and impactful, so it's going to be multiple heroes.
So this was a little bit surprising, where Jeff had basically said that they will keep up the current Overwatch Live service, but there will be at least one hero, probably Echo, before Overwatch 2 launch, yet the Overwatch 2 launch is a year and a half away. So saying that there will be at least one new Overwatch 1 hero until Overwatch 2 launch in a year and a half can come off as a bit worrying. To me, that definitely does. But he did say at least one. 3 would be the normal amount of heroes we would get for about a year and a half from now. We would get one now at BlizzCon, we would get one in March roughly, and we would get one again later in the summer, and then the next one would be at BlizzCon basically, which is when he said that they'd be talking about Overwatch 2. He also said in a panel that we would not be getting an uprising mission, so it's clear that the Overwatch 1 content plan, the live service I guess, is changing a bit for next year. We will still see at least one hero, but yeah, I wanted to just clarify there that basically these questions weren't answered together, but regardless of what will happen, Overwatch 1 content plan should change quite a bit, and hopefully we get some more insight into that, because yeah, obviously we love some content for Overwatch 1 for the year and a half or so that it'll take for Overwatch 2 to be ready. I also wanted to clarify with the new heroes and maps for Overwatch 2 and how you will be getting those as an Overwatch 1 player as well. Here's just Jeff clarifying that, just so you guys have that too.
The current Overwatch players and Overwatch 2 players will all have access to the same heroes. So Sojourn, for example, who is an Overwatch 2 hero, she'll be released with the game Overwatch 2. Current Overwatch players will be able to play her at the exact same moment she's available in PvP.
And that goes for the new maps and modes as well?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Only the new looks for the heroes are Overwatch 2.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, with those things out of the way, I'm just gonna play the remaining questions. Like I said, check the top comment for timestamps of answers, and yeah, feel free to share this video with other people. So if you have any other questions or if your friends have questions, then hopefully this video can answer them. If you have any more questions for developers, you can leave them in the comments of this video as well, and I'll try to get them answered from devs today at BlizzCon Day 2, but I can't really guarantee anything. That's it from me, thanks for watching, and here are the remaining questions.
Of a new core mode that maybe one mode that we're used to seeing goes away, or are they all going to be played at one time, on a rotation? And that question kind of leads into like maps and how there's like a map rotation in the Overwatch League. Is that something that you'd ever see incorporating into a competitive season? I just want to know.
It's funny you should ask.
Yeah. So that's a great question. I don't think that we're at the number of game modes right now to where we would necessarily need to start having a rotation for the game modes. Maybe we'll hit that point, we haven't really seen that from internal testing, but I think on the map side, especially if you saw the panel, we talked about introducing multiple maps for the push game mode, the new game mode, plus multiple maps for all of the other game modes we have. And so when you start doing the math on that, and then you look at the number of maps that we have right now, that's probably too many to put into a competitive catalog. And I think that
you can tell them.
Oh, okay. Thanks, boss. So we are looking at bringing a map catalog to the competitive rule set, and it's something that we will do before Overwatch 2 goes live. It's something we're actually looking to do fairly soon.
Okay.
Like next week. I'm not kidding either.
Well, PTO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next competitive season will feature a map pool. It's only going to be 12 maps, which is still a lot. That's still
3 for each mode, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's still a lot, but it also allows us to curate the maps, so we can listen to community feedback. So, for example, and I think people are going to be very sad to hear this, so please break it to your audiences in the nicest way possible. But in our first competitive season, Horizon and Paris will not be in the rotation.
Okay.
So I know it's going to bum a lot of people out. So.
We need to wrap up. We have time for one question.
Can we see any major reworks come in for the existing roster?
I would not rule that out. If you were to ask me to, well, you did ask me today. That's kind of a weird thing to say. Today, on November 1st, 2019, I don't feel like any hero really needs a major rework. Major reworks are messy and scary and not one of the best things for us to do. They can occasionally be exciting and occasionally they're necessary, but I don't.
Occasionally they're a real pain in the butt for technology too.
Yeah, we made John sad over those, but we don't have any major reworks planned. Now there's some time before Overwatch 2 comes out, and I think a major release like Overwatch 2 is a great opportunity for us to revisit everything and to really reconsider everything. So I would not rule that possibility out.
Thank you. I'm surprised that no one asked it, so maybe it was answered in some session. But I would like to know if there are any plans for cross-platform play and for cross-platform progression.
That's so crossplay is something that certainly is exciting to us as game players, and certainly there are a lot of trends going in that direction right now. It's definitely something we look at, but right now we don't have anything to announce on that.
I would about progression, my own character, if I log into another platform, can I get it?
It's certainly something that we're looking at, but at the moment we don't have anything to announce.